application. It's very easy to use. I think if you just think about how things are put together. So again, the program is called XD, or Experience Designer. When you first open the application, again, it'll come up with a window, and it's not necessarily made just for apps. You can do things for web comp, right? You can do a website example and have websites linked together. Plus, of course, they have the built-in um, apps, as you can see, an iPad app or an iPhone app, right? As well as you can make your own size. Okay, so you can choose what you want. For this example, I'll just choose an iPhone. So I'm just going to do a quick example. We'll use an iPhone, and of course, this is what it looks like when you open it up. So it doesn't have all the tools that you would have in Photoshop. It's not really a creation, we'll say, program. You can create basic shapes. As you can see, you got your square, circle, line. You can make your own kind of pen shape. And then, of course, you have text. And then these are artboards, right? You can have multiple artboards. Just like we have multiple artboards inside of Photoshop, you can have multiple artboards in this program. And this, of course, is Zoom. And a lot of the same features are there. The other thing you'll notice as far as this program is you have two kind of windows up here at the very top. You have a design view and a prototype view. The design view is to make your screen that you want here. Again, you can copy and paste from Photoshop, and I'll demonstrate that. So you don't have to recreate your total design if you've already made it in Photoshop. You don't have to do that, but you do have to kind of copy and paste your artwork into this program. You cannot import directly. I don't. There's not an answer that I have found yet for that. And then the prototype part is where you link the screens together. So basically you design the screens like you would multiple screens inside of Photoshop or Illustrator, and then to do the interaction part you can use the prototype, and that then you can connect objects together to go from one. Let's say you have a button that says see forecast, like weather forecast, right? And then you made another screen that has the forecast. You would use prototype to link that button to the next screen. Okay, so the two options that you have here is build the screens, link the screens. Build the screens, link the screens. There's a great tutorial that I did somewhere. Where was that tutorial? There was a tutorial that came with the program when I first installed it. Maybe it's over here. Let's see. Here, an XD tutorial. And I recommend doing this tutorial first. This is how I learned. I basically went and did the tutorial that is here. Now, I used this program last year. It's a little bit more robust than it was last year, and I didn't remember much. So I did this tutorial, and if you follow 1, 2, 3, just read and then do what it says, you'll learn a lot. Okay, so if you install this on your computer, I would start with this right here. Great way, shortcuts on the keyboard it shows you, and things like that. Again, it's underneath the help tutorial. If this is the first time you installed it, it would probably actually say that to you. It'll probably say, hey, do the tutorial first. Again, it was under help tutorial right here. I found it very useful. But you can do that on your own. I'm going to do my demonstration for you today and how I would use that. Again, this program works by, I don't know how to get rid of this window. How do I get rid of symbols? Window, view, symbols library. There we go. We'll talk about symbols library in a little bit. That's where you would reuse common things, right? Let's say you had a menu or a bar icon or something, and you want to use it on every screen. You could store it in a symbol and just reuse it over and over again. We'll get to that in a moment. How the program works is just like I said. It works like you would in Photoshop or Illustrator. You make multiple artboards and then you link them together. So each artboard would be a different screen. So since this is my first screen, I'm going to, instead of calling it iPhone 6.7-1, I'm going to call it, let's just for sake, I'm going to call it home. It's my first screen. It's my home screen. First screen that somebody would see if they're going to go with their app. Then you say, well, I redesigned everything inside of Photoshop, didn't I? Oh, okay. Well, let me open up Photoshop. I'm going to open up Photoshop, and I'm going to copy my artwork from there and paste it into this program. So again, you can go over here. And then the other thing about copying and pasting the artwork from Photoshop to the program, you can then duplicate the artboard so you don't have to keep rebuilding the screen. And I'll show you what I mean. Just like you can duplicate inside of Photoshop, right? Remember when I was making my multiple screens in Photoshop? I was, where is my Winter app? There it is. Here we go. So remember how I made one artboard here, and then I duplicated this top part over to here, right? Well, in the Experience Designer program, I could take the entire artboard and duplicate it over here, so I don't have to keep recreating things over and over again. Then the nice thing about it is that I can take this top part in the user experience, I can duplicate it to a new artboard, and then change the text. Because right now it says today here, right? I'm going to do that in the Experience Designer. I'm going to make a screen like this, then I'm going to duplicate it to a new one, and then I can just change the data. Okay, because let's say this is Monday, right? And then I can change the date, so you can reuse a lot of artwork over and over again and change it. Here's a downfall. You can't really copy and paste very well. Some things do copy and paste, some things don't. What I found easiest to do in this program, at least with the version, this beta version that we're working with right now, is to export out the artwork as an SVG and then import it into the Experience Designer. I'm sorry. So for example, I want this top bar that I've already designed in Photoshop. Here it is. I'm going to use, of course, my Move tool. I'm going to select all the stuff that's up here at the top. So all my artwork that's at the top. I just drag, using my Move tool again, drag across all the artwork that's at the top, selects it all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that artwork out as an SVG and then import it into the Experience Designer. That's the easiest way that I've found right now. I can't copy and paste this. They say you can copy and paste, but if I use the Command C and copy it, and then I go back to the Experience Designer and then paste Command V, it doesn't work. They say you can do it. What you can do is copy and paste bitmap, but not vector art. Okay, so that's the difference. I know when I was reading on how to use this program, Adobe's like, oh, it's okay if you design in Photoshop, it's great. You can design in Photoshop and then copy and paste. And then at the very end of that line, bitmap. They put the word bitmap at the end of the line. They said, oh, it's very easy. You can copy and paste bitmap. It's like, most of the stuff I've done in the user experience or in Photoshop is not bitmap. This is all vector stuff up here, right? So here's how I got around it. I selected all the objects that I had at the top, okay, and I went over here to the layers window. Now, I don't know if this is the version you have on your computer. My version over here has the ability to right-click on it and export as. Okay, again, I'm in the layer window here. I'll explain again. I selected all the artwork that I want to bring into the Experience Designer. I went to the layers window over here. You can see it's all selected here, right? It's all gray. And I right-clicked and said export as. Now you can say it was a PNG, but the downfall PNG is it's going to make it a bitmap, and then scaling something is not any good. But what you can do is you can say export as, and I'm going to export this as an SVG. The beauty of the SVG is then it'll be editable in the other program. Okay, it'll be editable. So here we go. I go export as. It's going to ask me what format. Again, SVG is right here at the top. Uh-oh, why is it only giving me... Oh, they all look like they're here. I don't know why it's giving me only one piece of artwork here. And why is my thing... Well, whatever. I'm going to say export here. Export all. It's going to take all the layers. I'm going to say export all. And let's give it a name. It gives it a name automatically. It gives it the name of whatever your layer name was. And my layer name was Summer. See how it says Summer here? Summer right here. So Summer. And where is it? It's asking where to save it. I guess. Oh no, it already did it. I don't know why it opens it up when you're done. So it did something. Oh, I don't know why. Why is it always calling it 7416 SVG? And it put it on the. I don't know why it's calling it 7. Hopefully it did all of them. It said export all. We'll see. Again, this is beta. This is beta. So I'm going to go back to my Experience Designer, and of course I'm going to place, just like I would in Photoshop, right? You place artwork. I'm going to go under File, Import, not Place, I'm sorry, Import, and I'm going to import that file that I just made. And oh, it did only one layer. Okay, that was a mistake. Hold on, let me go back. This is, I got it to work. Let me go back. Oh, here's a mistake I made. I want to take all the artwork that is in the layer and make it into a folder in the layer window, then export. That's what I did. Sorry, I have to remember. I take all the artwork. Let me start again. I select all the artwork. Then I go and make it into a folder. This is how I did it. Yeah, I guess I could do this whole top app. Yeah, I guess it is already in a folder, huh? Let me see. It is. You're right. Okay, it's already in a folder. So there we go. Thank you. It's already in a folder. So make sure your artwork's in a folder, and then export that whole folder out. Export as. There we go. Thank you. So make sure all your artwork's in a folder. Then export that, and then export that. And I've already made one. Let's call it something else. Let's call it 2. Then go back. So again, yeah, make sure everything's in a folder. Then go back and then import that in. And of course, it might be too big. You can reset size it. And again, it's all vector. So there you go. I brought that in. The next piece, of course, is this piece down here. And I think I did the same thing, is I selected it all. And yeah, here, and then I put it in a folder called Main Forecast. Do you see it right here? Main Forecast right there. So all this artwork down here is in something called Main Forecast. So I'm going to export that. Again, right-clicking on the folder in the layer window. Right-clicking on the folder in the layer window. Export as, and then I'm going to give it a name. There it is. And I say Export All. And let me call it 2 because I think I've already done this. 2. And again, I will go back to my Experience Designer and I will place that in. And of course I need to resize it. Some of the stuff came over, but some of it didn't come over properly. As you can tell, the font is not right. It's not in my box anymore. You notice that? See, the font is now here. Here. Okay, and then notice how it brings it in as kind of a group. See, if I select it, it turns into a group, and I select this, it turns into a group, and I can't really edit it. Okay, so you need to ungroup, yes. So the key here is that I have my design, and look at this 72, and look at this oval is now squished. Look at that. Okay, so some stuff doesn't come over right. Sometimes I found the drop shadow doesn't come over right. For right now, it looks like the drop shadow did, though. You can see it here, right? The drop shadow that I did have on my graphic here did come over, so that worked. But some, you see font-wise it didn't, and maybe shape-wise some of that didn't come over. So if you want to alter and change the artwork after you export it as an SVG and import it into this program, you can select the artwork, and again you can ungroup it. There is an ungroup feature under Object Ungroup. Once it's ungroup, it sees each of the objects as individual objects. Then you can move your text to where it needs to be. You can actually format your text to be bigger or whatever. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Uh-oh. How did I fix that? Did I have to double click? Oh, I had to double click on the text. And then there is a text tool. Oh, it's over here. I click on the text. And here's the font size over here. And then you got, alignment features and so on. Then you have color here, down here, and so on. So there is an appearance window that any object you have selected, you can change the appearance. Okay, so I made it a little big. I probably want to change the line spacing. Looks like this is probably the leading, isn't it? There we go. That's a little better. And then so you can move it around. There you go. That's better. My oval doesn't look like an oval anymore. I don't know why, but you got a width and a height here. We can make them both the same to make it oval again. How about we make them both 90? There we go. So that's round again. And then, of course, my font didn't come over properly. Again, anything you select, there is a feature over here that allows you to type in something. And we'll make that a little bigger. There we go. Okay, and then you can make art objects. So right now, this is, let's say this is my first screen of my app. It's telling me today, right? Shows me a picture, has my thing. But of course, what if I want to see what it's going to be tomorrow, right? Let's say tomorrow is Tuesday. So let's make some buttons. You can make buttons very easily in this program, or artwork in this program. Again, you have some basic features over here. You got your rectangle, you got your circle, and then you have alignment features and all that stuff. So let's just say today is Monday, so maybe we make a screen that says Tuesday. And again, I drew a rectangle, and I can give it a fill. I can give it a color. It has hexadecimal values, so you can write them down. I was able to go out and suck up a color. I'm not. Oh, here's the eyedropper. Here it is. Eyedropper. So I can select. So there is an eyedropper that allows you to suck up artwork or color that you've already used, right? Okay. So there is an eyedropper here. So there is a rectangle here, and then your artwork can have a border as well as a shadow, and that shadow kind of follows. You can adjust it like you would if you wanted to follow a shadow color. So you can do that. So let's put this here, and then let's make it a little bigger so it lines up. There we go. And let's call this, of course, today is, let's say, Monday, so let's call this down here. This is probably not the best design, but let's do it anyways. We'll call this Tuesday. There's a text tool, so we'll call it Tuesday. Tuesday. And then let's change that color so it's nice and white. And then let's change the font so it's, we could use Roboto if we want. There's Roboto, and so on. Okay, so let's say we want the user to click on this button that we have here to go to Tuesday. But besides that, we want to give them, let's say, a little idea of what Tuesday is going to be, even before they click on it, right? So we might want to put a little icon down there that says, hey, it's going to rain on Tuesday anyways. So how do we get icons in here, right? How do I get icons in here? So instead of having to go and do it in Photoshop, let's just build some things right in this program. So let's cheat a little bit. Let's say we want to get the rain icon and put it right next to the word Tuesday so that when they hit the button, they'll go to Tuesday and they'll see the full forecast for Tuesday. But we want to give them a little hint. So let's get an icon of rain. Let's cheat like we always love to do in this class is cheating. Cheating is good. We'll go to the noun project. I'm going to go, instead of making my own, I'm going to go cheat. Okay, so we go here and we say, okay, what do we want? We want rain, right? Where's the rain? Rain, R-A-I-N, rain. Rain, rain, rain. Uh-oh. Am I on the internet? Okay, I think I'm on the internet. Am I not on the internet? Maybe it's broken. No? I feel like I'm in Colombia with the internet connection there. Go somewhere and wait. Really? Let me type it in lowercase R-A-I-N. Oh, I got rain, rain. How about R-A-I-N? Lower. Oh, rain. No. Boy, this blows. Okay, well, let's assume that I've already went to the rain and I did a screenshot, right? Y'all remember how I steal from this website instead of actually downloading it? I go and steal with using a screenshot. So let's say I went and I stole it, right? I went and stole it, and we could see the screenshot. I still have it on my desktop from when I did this earlier. And if we go here on my screen, oh, there they are. Screenshot, screenshot. There it is, screenshot. Okay, so I went to the noun project. I found the rain icon, and here it is. I did a screenshot. There it is. right? This is a bitmap though, it's a PNG. I'm not going to use the PNG because that doesn't scale very well. So I'm going to use Illustrator to convert this into an SVG, and then you can copy and paste just fine from Illustrator to that Extreme Designer. Okay, so the key here is that I was just talking about how Photoshop doesn't work very well, copying and pasting to the new program that I'm showing, but Illustrator works fine. You can copy and paste anything from Photoshop into that program. Okay, so I mean, so I know I started showing you using Photoshop to make a to make your color comps. I know I did, but in this case, the program I'm showing works really well with Illustrator. So let's look at that. So again, I took my screenshot. I go to Illustrator. Where's Illustrator? There it is. Illustrator. Go to Illustrator. I place my. I go and I place my my screenshot. Here's my rain. Don't worry about size. You can scale it in the program. Here you go. So here it is. It's placed in Illustrator. I want to bring this into the Extreme Designer. Now think about it though. If you actually have an account with the Noun project, you can download an SVG without having to do all this, right? Did you notice that? And I know it's not working right now, and I'm not sure why. But again, in the Noun project, the Noun, project, whatever. In this program or this website, right? When you choose one. Again, right, you can actually download, and they have the ability to download an SVG. So you don't have to do the conversion. I'm just having to do the conversion because I haven't signed up for an account here, and I don't know how much they cost. I think a lot of these are free, right? Does anybody have an account? Did anybody try and download from this? No, none of you have tried this? Well, I haven't tried it either. I just steal by using Screen Grab. So here we go. I stole it by using the Screen Grab. I have it in Illustrator. To convert it into a vector, I'm going to use the image trace. The image trace. Again, the image trace is a option under image trace. I've demonstrated this before to you. I know, so you should be used to this by now. Image trace. Oh, here it is. Image trace. And then, of course, in the image trace, I don't want the white area. I just want the black area to be an object, right? I want the black area to be an object. So in the image trace pop-up window, I'm going to go to advanced, and in advanced you could say ignore white right here where it says ignore white. I've demonstrated this before. When I'm done saying ignore white, I hit the trace button or preview, whatever, either one works, and it converts it into an object. Okay, so it is an object. If you want to color it, if you want to change the color, I believe you can change the color in the Extreme Designer. I'm trying to think of how I did this before. I might have broken it apart. After you do the image trace, you might need to go to the object, expand to turn this into individual objects. So it's under object, expand, hit OK, and now it sees it as an object all by itself without that box that I had. Then I copied this by using Command C, right? Command C is copy. And I go back to my Experience Designer, and I'm going to paste by using Edit, Paste. And of course, here it is. It's in the program. And of course, the problem is that it's black, and I want it to be white. You can change the color in this Experience Designer by going over here to the Appearance window that is over here, and I can change it to white. So you can alter the object color in the program after you bring it in. Again, if you download the SVG probably from that website, you'll be able to just alter it right in the program. So here we go. We have a little icon that says, hey, it's going to rain on Tuesday. Again, how I stole the icon is I went to the Noun project and I brought it into Illustrator, converted it into an SVG, and copied and pasted it into this program. If you have an account with the Noun project, you can probably just download SVG and import it right in which I've done from other. Where I downloaded SVG was from Google, right? If you go to the Google icons, you can download SVG right from Google icons and put it right into this program. and you have the full capabilities to change the color in this program. Okay, let's make another screen because we want to be able to, when the person clicks here, I want it to go to Tuesday forecast because it's telling me today. So let's make another artboard. Basically, you have two artboards. What I was able to do, I believe, with this program was to duplicate the artboard. No, it didn't duplicate everything. What I did was I made a new artboard. Trying to remember how I did that. I know I've done it. Did I duplicate this? No. I did. Oh, here it is. Artboard tool is right here. And how did I duplicate that? I just clicked with the artboard tool. Okay, there's a tool right here called artboard, and I clicked with the artboard tool. So let's make this Tuesday. Okay, so I have a new artboard. Again, there's the artboard tool, and I just clicked with it and made the same size. I want the top part to be pretty much the same, but of course with new stuff. So I'm going to highlight all the artwork at the top there, and I'm going to option click and drag to duplicate it, just like you would in Photoshop. Option click and drag duplicates. But of course we don't want the same date. This is the second day. This is, let's say, of course this is Monday and this is Tuesday. So we need to change some of this. You can change it by ungrouping it, by going under Object, Ungroup. And then let's change the date. Of course, the next day would be the 5th, right? And then, of course, this would be Tuesday. So you can duplicate the artwork and then change it. Again, option click and drag duplicates. Now, of course, I don't want to have to redo this picture here because this picture is kind of nice. So I'm going to go and copy and paste or take the picture that I've already done in Photoshop. I might leave this stuff because remember I had to format this already, so I might leave this the same here. But I just want to get the new picture, so I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and of course here's the winter scene. We'll say this is the next day, right? Let's see if we can copy and paste the bitmap. They claim that you can copy and paste a bitmap, right? At least that's what Adobe says. So let's try that, and I was successful doing that. So Command C, copy. I don't know if it'll copy the mask though. And let's go over to the Extreme Experience Designer and paste. No, it didn't work. Well, how about we take that artwork that we have and we export that out. Let's make it into a folder. So let's take this that I have right here. Remember, this is the a mask kind of thing that I have here. I'm going to put it in its new group. I'm going to put it in a new group from layers. New group from layers. And let's call it new day. We'll call it new day. And then let's export that out as SVG. There it is, new day. Export that out as an SVG. And then let's go back to our Experience Designer and let's import that. I called it new day. Oh, it's too big. Let's shrink it down. Let's try and make it the same size as this one. Oh, really? Oh, it didn't bring the mask over, did it? Damn. Did it? Why is it so big? Let me see. It looks fine there. It looks like it didn't bring the mask over properly. Bummer. Okay, well, let's recreate some of this stuff in the program then. Let's delete that. Let's duplicate this. Let's duplicate all this stuff. How about that? Let's duplicate all this stuff and bring it over here. And then let's change the photo here. I believe I can just do that. So don't worry about Photoshop anymore. Yeah, you're going to have to recreate it here anyways. And then you can drag and drop from the desktop. So let me hide Photoshop for a moment here. And let's hide Illustrator for a moment here. And then here's the program. So with this Extreme Designer or Experience Designer, I don't know why I keep calling it Extreme Designer, you're able to, and let's look for my photos. So here they are. They say you can drag and drop from the operating system right into the program. So let's look at our icons here. And so our next day is going to be, let's say, sunny. How about a sunny beach scene? And let's see if we can do it. Let's try it. If we can drag and drop right here and let go, there it goes. Okay, so again, I go from the operating system. Oh, look at this one. This one's kind of nicer. Let's try that. Oh yeah, that's much prettier. Hey, we want July 5th to be with flowers. So again, you can drag from the operating. So I duplicated this area. Don't worry about Photoshop anymore. Hey, I duplicated this and I put it in here. And of course, the temperature the next day is going to be hot, say 81, and so on. So you can go and change all your features there. So dragging and dropping from there. So let's demonstrate a couple more of those things about dragging and dropping. So in this screen, which is the next day, let's say we have a person who we're going to see. So maybe my weather app is also a contact app. I was thinking about this the other day, that we can almost combine a weather app and a contact app so that your friend is going to be with you on that day and you guys can collaborate on what kind of things you're going to do that day, right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Maybe your contact list is with the weather app are connected. And so I was thinking maybe down here at the bottom we could have our friend who we're going to see that day. So one of the things we could do is, again, you have your circle right here, circle. So I'm going to make a little friend contact down here. So I'm going to make a little circle down here. Okay, then I'm going to put a picture of my friend in there, right? Just like we made the little circle in Photoshop and we put our friend's face in there. Do you remember doing that? We could do the same thing. I'm going to go find my friend. Where's my friend? I need a friend. Give me a friend. Do I have a friend? I have no friends. We need a friend. Need a friend. 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 Is it just me or is the internet not working? I was on the internet before. Is it internet or is it me? It must be the Wi-Fi. Maybe I can go for my phone. How about that? We'll go for my phone maybe. I just wanted a friend. No, this is my phone now. Let's see if that works. There, my phone works. Who's my friend? Friend. Do I have any friends? There we go. Friend. Where's my friend? I need a friend. No friends. Friend. Friends. Friends. There's lots of friends. I just want one friend. I don't need a group of friends. I just want one friend. Okay, that's not going to work. Maybe I have one friend. Okay, let's try. I just want one friend. No. No friends. No friends. Oh, this looks like a good friend. There we go. Oh, this is not going to work, is it? Okay, I gotta have a photo of somebody on my computer somewhere. Give me a photo of a friend. Do I have any pictures? Oh, here we go. My picture. Fat photo of myself. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go and import that in. Again, you can drag and drop, so I can take my picture and put it right on my circle and release the mouse and it'll put it in there. Okay, just like I did with this picture of the flowers, right? From the operating system, you can drag and drop right into the thing. Okay, and I can drop shadow there. So again, this program, you can actually build things in. Here's my friend right there, and then maybe I put in some text next to him. Meeting 1 o'clock lunch. There we go. So, whatever. So again, you can make shapes, simple shapes in this program, and drag and drop. Okay, so now we want to connect these two together, right? The whole purpose of this is we're going to make a prototype. So I have two screens. We want them to connect together. So of course down here we want when the person touches this or clicks it with their mouse, whatever, we want it to go to this screen over here. So again, not in the design view you do this, you do it in prototype. So in the prototype, I go over here to my whatever they're clicking, and I click this artwork down here. See the artwork I clicked on? So again, I went to prototype here, clicked on the artwork. It comes up with this little arrow that's right here, and it's simply just click and drag. When I click and drag, I can drag to this screen right over here, anywhere on the screen. Release my mouse, it's going to ask you what you want to do. Well, we're going to go to Tuesday, which is the new target, right? Do you want to dissolve, which would fade, or do you want to swipe or slide left, slide right? Think of the things that you have on your phone, right? You have basically sliding. These are transitions, we call them, between screens. And so we want to slide left, I guess. We'll try that. You can tell it ease in and ease out means it slows down towards the end. Okay, ease out. Okay. And then how long is the transition? How many seconds does it take to go from one screen to the other? Same with the other one. If I want to go back, let's say I want to go from this little arrow at the top, the person clicks that and they go back to this screen. How about that? I click on the little arrow and I can click on the little arrow thing that's next to it and I can go back to this screen. And again, you can do sliding, you can do fading. This time I want to slide right, the opposite, because one slides one way and then the other one slides the other way, right? I think I'm doing this backwards, but you get the idea. So again, I have these two screens now are connected together. There's a little home button right here that says this is the first screen that they see when they launch the app. First screen you see when you launch the app. See the little house right here? First screen. That doesn't mean I put home here, it just means this is the first screen. So now I want to test my app. Okay, I want to test it. To test it, I go underneath the let me save this before it crashes. Let me save. Test app. And then I go underneath the tester. Where's the testing? I know I've tested this before. Oh, it's up here in the upper corner. There's a little play button right here. It's telling us what device we're playing on. Again, there's a phone right here. This is the zoom factor, and of course there's a little play button right here. Now this will simulate what it would look like on a phone. So if you hit the play button right here, it'll play it, and of course here's my testing app right here. And of course if I go down here to my Tuesday, if I click on it, it'll go to my next day. And this is my next day. I'm having lunch. It's going to be a nice day, and I can click on my little arrow up here and go back. Okay, go this way, go back. Okay, so it's a nice little, quick little application. Mostly what you would do is probably have more than just two screens. You would probably have multiple screens, but you could build this all together and you could demonstrate to a client, demonstrate to whoever's testing your app. And you know, if you go back to design view, there's ways that you could, again I'm zooming out, you would have multiple screens. You can have links going down. If you looked at their sample, they had stuff like that. Let's see what else was in their tutorial. Let's look at their tutorial for a minute, because I probably didn't do everything that's in the tutorial. So let's look. Their tutorial talks about starting the screen, play to test it. This is their home screen, first screen here. They talk about using the artboard and then so on. Oh, and using the eyedropper to fill colors. They talk about how to put the image in. Oh, this is a group. This is a big selling point to them, is that you can do group things. So let's try that real quick. I'm going to demonstrate that, a group thing. And what that means is that you can drag a group. So if you saw the video earlier, they said, oh, this is a great tool because you can do things very quickly. So let's say you build a screen that looks like this, and you wanted to have maybe 10 of these go down, right? Kind of look like this, right? Latest adventures, you have 10 adventures. You can design one of these, make it into a group, and then repeat grid is what it's called. And as you scroll down, it will repeat this over and over again. then you can change the artwork very quickly. So let me demonstrate that. This repeating grid thing that they have in this program. Because, you know, just like I made a user, let's go back to my screen here. Where's my screen? Here it is. Oh, sorry, it's here. Let's say I have me and I'm having a lunch there. But I have more people I'm going to meet during the day. So let's say I have 5 people I'm going to meet during the day. I want to repeat this. Okay, so let me give it a background color too, because this is pretty ugly of just my ugly face with this thing here. So let's just let's make a little box. Let's do a little box here. Let's put a little box there. Let's give it a little color. Of course, I can go over here and suck up a color maybe. Oh, I don't want this dark blue. Isn't there a lighter blue? Ah, it's not gonna let me suck up a lighter blue, is it? Let's just cheat. I'll do a light blue there. And then you say, oh my gosh, where's my other stuff? Well, of course, this is like Illustrator. It has multiple layers, just like Photoshop has multiple layers. So I need to move this rectangle to the back. So again, I can go under Object. Where's Arrange? Send to back. No, Range. Align is Align. Distribute. Do we see? Oh, here it is. Arrange. Send it back. There we go. And of course, my meeting is going to be too dark here. Let's make it white. Remember, if you're following the material design, most of it's white text on a color background. Now you don't have to follow that. Just remember when we were designing material design, think about how the things are. Let me finish my box here. I got a box. Let's put a little shadow behind there. There we go. So. Here's how we do the repeat thing. So let's say I have a meeting at 1 o'clock for lunch, and then 2 o'clock I have something, and so on and so on, or I'm going to meet something else. I can highlight this, all the artwork that is in there, and then we're going to make a repeat grid. Repeat grid. Okay, it's right there. See how it says repeat grid here? Or you can get to repeat grid by going under here and say make repeat grid. What does that do? What does repeat grid? Well, it does what I just said, where you can then go to this grid and I can drag down and it'll repeat that same thing again, right? So it repeated that same artwork that I have. But it doesn't all have to be the same. You can alter that artwork. You can go in there and say, okay, I want to have 4 different faces in here. 4 different faces. So I need to find 4 faces, and I don't have 4 faces. I have only 1. I need more people on my computer. I got one person. How can I not have people? I need people. People. Let me find some people. People's face. How about that? People's face? There we go. Ah, there you go. We have all kinds of people faces here. What am I gonna mean? There we go. People face. There we go. Okay, so let's slap some of these people out on the desktop here. Oh, that's not going to work doing that. I guess we have to click on them and then slap them out there. There's one person. Oh, that person looks too crazy. This person looks okay. We don't want crazy people. There's another person. Just do another person. I need one more person. I don't know. Oh, Marilyn Monroe. We'll meet her later. We'll drag her out. Okay, so whatever. Okay, so here's my 4 new people I'm going to meet. So you can select all of them, go back to your repeat grid. Here it is, repeat grid here. I need to hide this. Got to move things around a little bit here. So then you go to your repeat grid and you grab the 4 new people, and you grab all 4 of them at the same time and drag them into the little box, and it'll automatically put them in there. Do you see that? So I got 4 new people automatically in my grid here, and there they are. Now, of course, I have to change this because they're not all meeting me for lunch. Again, you could go and change each piece here. So this is the person I'm going to meet at 2 for not lunch. I don't know, work. And then this person I'm going to meet at 3. Looks like a kid. Give me an eye. There we go. And yeah, let's say school. I'm gonna pick up on my school. And then Marilyn Monroe. So we'll say 5 o'clock for dinner. There we go. Perfect. Okay, again, it's called a repeat grid. It's one of the useful features of this program. In addition, you can actually link these things up. If you do a prototype, you can double click on your repeat grid and say, let's say at 2 o'clock, I'm going to go back to there. I don't know. You can do that again. There you go. So you can, you can use the same artwork as a repeating thing. So that was a repeat grid that was in their little tutorial that they have here. So you might want to again do this tutorial. Let's see what else. Scrolling. They have some scrolling features here where you can tell it how much to scroll and so on. Then again, here's how you could link it all together, and then we previewed it, and that's it. So again, this program's called Experience Designer. It's not a very hard program, but there's some tricks you need to do to get your artwork in there. I found everything that you copy and paste from Illustrator works just fine to go in there. The other thing is if you're using Photoshop, I exported out as an SVG and then imported the SVG into the program. So that doesn't mean that what you've been doing in Photoshop is not useful. It is useful, especially in a prototype, not prototype, but a proposal, right? I'm going to give somebody a design proposal. Here's your design proposal. This is great. This is what I planned for my my weather app. But to make an interactive prototype, this program is quite easy. It took some time, a little bit, to put it together, but again, you can duplicate things. You know, once you have one screen done here, I can simply take this whole screen here and I can duplicate it. Make a new artboard first. It doesn't duplicate the artboard, but again, you can make a new artboard, then take all the artwork from here and duplicate that. Option click and drag, and then you can simply just go and change the stuff. Right? I want a new photo in here. This is, let's say this is going to be Wednesday, and we want it to look. Here's a nice photo. Boom, Wednesday, and I can then just start changing things. Okay, so I highly recommend, if you have the Creative Suite, to download this and start trying it. It's a great prototype. I would love for you to build something like this so that you can have other people test your app and see how, and give you feedback. I mean, the purpose of the prototype is that people can then go and test and give you feedback. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a cool program or what?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to stop this video now.